The person that I picked was Ivan Pavlov. I got it from my website that was for um, the, the discussion board that we had too for this. I also got my information from this article by Karen Hollis. It's called American Psychologist, Volume 52, September 1997, 956 to 965. Ivan Pavlov did a lot of classical conditioning in his experiments with dogs. Um, he was awarded the Nobel Prize in Physiology of Medicine, and he got his honorary doctorate at Cambridge University. He contributed to many areas of physiology, neurology, and psychology as well. He was absorbed with physiology early on, and received and remained with him throughout his life. So he kind of worked through it as he went on with his research. During the time from 1891 to 1900, Pavlov did most of his work on physiology of digestion, how it worked, the mechanics of it, and everything else that was associated with it. That led him to the science of conditioned reflexes. He paid close attention to a process called psychic secretion, which is caused by food stimuli at a distance from the animal. Basically, trying to figure out what actually causes dogs to salivate through this process. He also did experiments carried out by him and his pupils that conditioned reflexes originate in the cerebral cortex, what makes certain parts of the brain function and what makes certain parts of the brain do the things that they do. Many people were drawn to Pavlov's basic laws of governing the activity of the cerebrum. As a result of this, they formulated a Pavlovian theory on higher nervous activity, neuron activity, excuse me. In 1890, he was investigating the gastric functions of dogs by externalizing a salivary gland so he could collect and measure the saliva produced. He wanted to find out about this psychic secretion. He wanted to manipulate the stimuli before the presentation of food. So he decided to to ring a bell before the presentation of food to see if the dog would salivate. He did one test to where he would show the food to the dog and the dog would salivate, and then he was actually trying to get the dog by increasing its stimuli to actually salivate by the ring of the bell, which he did achieve. The phrase Pavlov dog is often used to describe someone who merely reacts to a situation rather than using critical thinking. It's still used today. The term Pavlovian conditioning was used in such novels such as Brave New World and Gravity Rainbow. In the article by Karen Hollis, it talks about two perspectives which researchers approach the study of Pavlovian conditioning. There's the ecological aspect or perspective, which asks the question, what ways does conditioning contribute to animals' ability to survive and reproduce? And the cognitive perspective, it's how and under what circumstances does conditioning occur. These two perspectives actually kind of coincide with the Pavlovian conditioning that I've been talking about in this paper, or in this video actually. I learned a lot in this video about not necessarily just about Pavlov's experiment with dogs, but how the way the mind thinks and how certain stimuli causes certain effects, and how we've got to be able to react differently to not just reacting to it, but actually thinking thorough before we actually follow through with our intentions.